Hello. What am I working on? Same thing. Not much of a change in what I'm working on. Still trying to get myself past the team name selection. We've created the team selection, team name selection, but what I did this afternoon, which was pretty significant, is I refactored a bunch of code. I had a lot of code that was running from wrong locations. Like, okay, so when I first started building this, my idea was that the home screen, the title screen would kick stuff off, right? Kind of like get things going. But as I did that, I was building the panels and the things for each action to take place, and as it was being built, it started to formulate better in my mind and in my mind's eye how things should and should not flow. Eventually we got it working. As you know, I was able to get my team names, my team selection going, the league gets created, the teams get selected, team name button gets picked. Now, the team name button and the team selection wasn't quite triggering. It wasn't saving correctly. But I was like, okay, that's the next step. We're going to the next step. And that's a little more than close the panel and activate the title screen, and then we can go wherever. And right now, I was also thinking, well, you know what? As I looked at it, I had a lot of that code still happening in the title screen, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Let's move those actions. I decided to refactor, move all that code that dealt with the team selection to the team selection panel, and all the code that dealt with the team name selection to the team name selection panel, all within the announcements board, which is where that stuff kind of happens. And then the title screen will just activate the announcements board and tell it what to trigger. So there's even a couple of flows I'm still playing with on how I want that to work, and I may end up tweaking it a little bit more, but ultimately right now it's going in, calls the team names, the team selection goes through, it's supposed to save that. Then I started thinking, you know what? What's going to happen here is it's going to save, and then we're going to end up going to the main screen, and then everywhere I go, it's going to have to keep going back to the database to find this user's team and their league, and it's going to keep making these calls back to the server. I'm like, that's not great. So what I'm thinking I want to do, in fact, ultimately I think it'll help if I plan to go with a local running version of the app, or I want to be able to let people play their games locally. I don't know how that's going to work yet, what's responding for that, but that's something I got to keep in mind. And part of that is keeping the user's information local and persistent. So that means keeping their team persistent and being able to have that information quick, so that when you're browsing around, everything just works until it absolutely needs to write something to the database and then talk to the server, or pull something new from the database, then talk to the server. Ideally, it's keeping a lot of that stuff nearby. I don't think a lot of your data is going to be going to be required on the back end. Now, I'm not sure yet how I'm going to get things that are performant, like running the games and stuff like that locally, but first things first, let's just get some data stored. So I created a session manager that's going to pull stuff in and actually hold it persistent on the app's memory or hard drive space, so that it can run those bits quicker and faster, not have to keep making calls back to the server. So I did that, got that updated. The refactoring and adding that in introduced some more bugs, and I had to iron those out, tweak that out, figure out what's going on. What the heck, where are we headed, and how are we going to get that ironed out? I think mostly we're almost there. I think we're almost there. So we're gonna be running. I had to. In fact, I just did an update where I have to restart my league service. I'm gonna go. Let's see. FPFM, go ms/leagues. If this runs and compiles, we'll have a new basically the problem was I wasn't getting a team ID back, which was partially the problem. Now there are certain things we don't necessarily have yet, like so my city and mascot. These are okay if they're empty. I mean, sorry, not those, but they're not assigned for this team. But we have the teams. Team name selection manager, extension versions. Team name selection manager. Game mascot, game city, game team abbreviation. I gotta ask Claude something. Now, what ID are you passing back? Do we really need team ID? The purpose of your team name selection page is simply get the what are we storing with these teams? Do we have a source team ID? League ID, game ID, game mascot, game plan ID. I'm a little, well, that's kind of interesting. I'm wondering if this is even the best way to do this. Right now I'm storing everything in if I store all of the game mascot, game plan ID, well, game plan ID I need per, and playbook ID I need per, but game abbreviation, game mascot, and plain ID, kind of rethinking how this is set. Just a bit. Perhaps let this now what idea? Not sure this will introduce much of a change to our data store, but I am thinking perhaps we store the default live it. This is Claude, actually. I'm using Claude at the moment. I actually use a few of them. I use Claude, Copilot, and Bezzy at the moment. And I'm using like the cheapest version of all of them, the $20 version. And I used up my Copilot for the month. And I bought Copilot for a year. Copilot is nice because it lets you use all of them. You can use ChatGPT, you can use Claude, you can use all of those tools. But I used it up for the month. I hit my limit like a week ago. And I'm like, well, I've been wanting to get a second one. But you know, they're expensive for a guy who's unemployed. But I need to keep moving. I got to keep making progress. So I was thinking I would want to get Claude because I use Claude all the time anyway, or I wanted to get Bezzy. Bezzy is a Unity specific AI tool that actually embeds itself into Unity and allows and knows you and can work with your object model way better than like an external Claude, an external AI. I don't know. Claude's been doing pretty good, but the thing is, I use Claude a lot for the back end stuff. It does all of my server side and some of my interactions on the front end. So it's kind of my go-between that plugs everything in, as is Copilot. But my Copilot annual subscription runs out, I think, in December. So I'm actually thinking I may not get both again, but I will need to, and I'm spending a lot of time in Unity now. So with that, I think I really want to get Bezier going again. I've been kind of avoiding it. But anyway, about 1 month of Bezier, 1 month of Copilot, kind of feeling them out. And what the heck? How is that even coming on? Did I say her name? Did I say something that turned that on? I like that tool, but it's kind of coming on too easily. And what's really weird is even if I mute it like this, it turns itself back on. I don't know how it does that. Maybe because I mentioned the word Copilot? I don't know. Something's weird. But I digress. Anyway, this is Claude. And I use Bezier on the front end when I can. But I've noticed I burn through the credits on Bezier pretty fast. So I'm a little apprehensive. I did get, there's some issues with Bezier, some bugs. And I submitted a problem report, I guess, to Discord. And the guy from Bezier actually came onto my stream because I was streaming at the time. And he's actually come a couple times and kind of tried to figure out what's going on. He said they're doing a fix, and they're going to have a fix out either tonight or tomorrow for the issue, the main issue I was having. And so we'll see about that. So that was kind of cool, having the guy come out and actually talk to me while I was streaming here. So that's points for Bezier. I'm pretty sure nobody on the Claude team would contact me if I reached out and said, hey, I'm having trouble with Claude. They'd probably be like, whatever, dude. Don't bother us. We got too many other things to do. So we store the default team ID with the user's team ID. In fact, instead of storing the Game City game mascot game abbreviation, it's B-E-Z-I, Bezier. It's actually kind of cool. I have found it better than Claude when I'm working specifically with Unity objects within the Unity UI. Now, it can't build your Unity UI stuff, but it just seems better at being able to read your hierarchy and your inspector stuff. It seems to integrate better and get that. And the Kevin, the guy from Bezier who came by, actually said it uses mostly Claude 4.5 as its LLM. So means it's still it's just taking that integration of Claude and using its higher level hierarchy Unity understanding with your code. So it works really good when I'm doing the front end stuff. So I do like using it. It is pretty effective from what I've seen, or at least as effective as Claude, except I like using Claude because, like I said, it has a back end. It's better with my back end code. Storing the Game City game mascot game abbreviation with the generated teams. This will allow you to easier update, change various team names, logos, etc. read function, should have a blank source team ID instead of blank game ABDR, game city, and game mascot. Those will these items, but however, I don't yet think we have anywhere that we fetch these items for user teams. But yeah, I would check it out. I use there is a 1 week sample or 1 week what do they call it, trial of Bezi you can do, and try it for yourself, see what you think. I used it up. I actually I don't remember if it's actually a whole week, but I think it's like 50 calls. I think it's 1 week or 50 calls, and I think I actually used up the 50 well before my week was up. didn't take that long. In fact, the reason why I'm hesitant on buying Bezi on a monthly basis is because they give you 500 credits for $20, and I'm almost at 200, and it's only been like 3 days. So I'm like, not too sure I'm gonna be able to keep with that. Now Claude's kind of cool because I think Claude limits you by 5-hour increments, and you can do quite a bit in those 5 hours. I think, I don't know, I feel like I haven't really, I think you like 50 in 5 hours or something, maybe something like that. And then it resets after 5 hours. So it's like you never really, I mean, you're not ever fully toast. Bezi has a little bit more limitations. I feel like 500 is going to go fast. Now, to be fair, I think I only get 200 on Copilot. I don't remember how many I get, but I feel like I've only hit the limit on Copilot in the 1 year that I've had it, 10 months that I've had it so far. I've only hit the limit twice. But sometimes I get on a roll. Like sometimes I'll be working on a lot of code, and I'm in the code and fixing and tweaking, and I don't use it for a couple of days. And then I start working on something new, and I'm using it again for a big chunk of the, a day or 2 or 3, and I'm constant. And then other times I'm back to doing the code. Sometimes it's me editing and tweaking what it does, because every so many days I spend time in the code where I'm just kind of reading through it, making sure that what the AI has been doing isn't like mangling or creating a bunch of spaghetti code. I have to go through and kind of check it on it every few days, or I do some extra checking. I do it while it's doing it, but I do it in more thorough amounts every so often, every few days, once a week, whatever, where I kind of go through and just make sure that my code isn't getting all wonky. So I have to do that stuff. See what it's doing. Perfect. Now let me attach the manager, check the source team ID instead. Now I need to update the code that stores session data to look up the team details and the source team ID. Let me create a helper method. All right, so that's good. That's what I want. Read. So my session ID is going to be storing. That's one of the functionalities I just put in place, was to put in a session manager. So that, and it's also going to be persistent, so it's going to hold some of the user's information, and that's game information, like it has their teams, the team name and team name, logo, all that stuff. That's why I'm not looking it up constantly. Not the logo, the mascot, the abbreviation, all that stuff that I'm going to be using throughout stores the team ID, so that when the user is navigating around throughout the app. It's not constantly going back to the server to pull that stuff out, because with my server being it wouldn't be such a big deal if it was all local, but because I'm building a game that's got all the data and functionality is stored on a server, so allowing for multiplayer and cross-platform play. That's where I have to try to make sure that my as much data is stored locally as possible, so that we're not making those calls to speed things up. Also, to limit. Why are you doing that? Stop butting your nose in. I may have to turn that off. I like it, but it doesn't come on half the time when I want it to, and then it comes on its own. It's kind of like sometimes when you have Alexa back there. She likes to bed in. I don't know what you're talking about, and I'm like, that's because I wasn't talking to you. So if you whenever I'm referring to Alexa, and I look that way, it's because that's where my device is. It's sitting back there on my mini bar. It was a full-fledged bar, but I did some home remodeling and turned it into a bar that's only like this big. It's literally this. It's about this wide and about this thick. It's got a little sink on one side. That's all it is. I don't use the little sink. It does work. Just don't have any use for it. So I don't know. And I think I had to plug it up because it's not used. It has I don't know if you know this, but if you have a drain that's not used for long periods of time, you've got the P-trap at the bottom of the drain. This is totally derailing. This is what I do. You got the P-trap at the bottom of a drain that holds water, and it's there. It actually stops odor from coming through because that water's trapped there, and it basically creates an odor block. But if you don't use a sink or a drain for a really, really, really long time, that water evaporates. It disappears. And then the odor from the pipes and wherever's back there in the pipes starts to come up through because it's no longer being blocked by the water in the P-trap. And that's why you have to kind of plug up a drain that's not used for a really long time, because if there's any kind of odor in that, it's going to come through. Kind of interesting. I didn't know that. I learned that one when we came and said, what is that smell? What the heck? And we had somebody come and check, and they go, yeah, that's because you don't use the sink, and the P-trap is dried out. Interesting. Did not know that was a thing. All right, so what do I have to do? I have to, how it works. Backend changes, go store, service. Okay, which services did they change? Probably doesn't copy city. Okay, so source team ID. I've successfully refactored the team data model to use source team ID references instead of copying data. Here's what changed. Blah, blah, blah. Now checks the source team ID instead of game city mascot. Dallas, default team in database. Okay, user team in database. Just a reference. Source team ID, team 41. Okay, that works. Session manager stores the lookup value. Dallas, yeah, can be refreshed if default teams are updated. You need to rebuild and restart your backend, which is leagues. Okay, so let's is that leagues one I did here? Yeah, that's right. Let's close that up. And then we'll just go clear, and we'll run it again. Go run dot. Now really, this isn't going to have a visual effect, but what it's going to allow me to do is run a little more efficiently on the front end. I still got to go through and make sure everything works. It did address the last problem, which was that I was getting bad values in here. But we're going to see now if we're any closer. Because the next things I want to do is start plugging in my pages, which I have, and go to the sim. So when I load up like game plan ID, I mean, there's a lot of, I have other functionality in here that I'm ready to start plugging in. At least getting them so they're attached to the player. What I should probably do is start having it assign, create a game plan for the user along with a playbook for the user. I need to do that next. I should probably have that in there as well. All right, so we're here. We still haven't saved successfully. What does this do? Successfully added, click list. So we have all this working good. Let's go ahead and clear this. And then we'll go ahead and play with my cards a little bit. I just like to make sure everything's still working, that I haven't broke anything. So I got my cards loading. And okay, I think everything's good. Got everything going. All right, go ahead and clear that. And then let's go ahead and load. Let's take this guy. I don't have any scorned. I wish I had a guy with scorned on it, but all right, we'll take this one. And then confirmation dialog. Would you like to take control of this team? Yes, I would. Thank you. Confirm. All right, so what happened? So, team name loaded, rebuilt. See, I don't see. Wait, or did it just jump? Maybe it just jumped. Let's see. Got 32 of these, so it's probably going to show me a lot. Source. I probably should just go to the top. There was, hey, I put 745 in there after I cleared it. Yikes. Instance found, initialized successfully, confirmation exists, on team confirmation and listen, showing dialog, showing confirmation, confirm button clicked, user confirmed selection, invoking on team confirmed event, team confirmed, team 050. Call with team 050. Switching to team name selection. Initialize team called. Initialize call with team ID team 50. So it says team 50. All right, let's go see. Let's go see if it actually assigned that. Let's see what's happening here. So we go 47, 40, 50. And user ID is where the heck is user ID? Oh, that's okay. That didn't work. All right, so we're going to take this. League ID 1, teams 8, switching to team name selection. These are the created console logs for team selection. Team selection confirmation. I checked the database after the team names loaded to select from, and noticed and would have expected. You know what? You know what? I may have to rebuild the league. You need to rebuild and restart your backend. After restarting the backend, run your Unity app and test the full flow. Update team name, logo changing, no data duplication, user teams. I checked the DB after the team names loaded to select from and would have expected team source team ID to exist in the record for team 050, but it does not. Still says user ID equals sysuser. The default when team is created by Probably should rebuild the league, to be honest, because this is not quite what I want. Because now it has those dummy values that aren't going to be valid in the future, so I probably should get rid of them. You know, it's funny, but is it funny? It's not funny, haha. It's like funny, like interesting. I've had a number of people come by to watch me develop on this game. Actually, I've probably gained 50 followers since I started working on this. Not a ton, but considering I started at just over 100, so that's something. But of those people that have joined or come to watch, I think maybe 5 tops actually have any interest in football, American football, which is like, you know, I mean, it's cool, but it's not very many. I mean, they're not coming because I'm developing a football game. They're coming to watch me because I'm developing a game. I'm just creating something, which is nice, but it's not gonna. And one of the things I'm kind of learning, in fact, even just by watching some other developers who are doing social media, they're saying that they don't get a lot of their wish lists from their media following. I'm starting to see that that's probably true, because there's really just not that many. Now, if I can get this game a little closer where I actually can play with it a little bit, I can start doing some demos and playing with it online. That might get more people, because they'll actually get to see it in happening. Because, you know, those people who might like football have no interest in development, so they're not actually watching the coding for it. I just noticed something on my screen, which is interesting to me. I have my chat screen right above another window, and I always figured Windows is pretty, you know, pretty consistent. The lines are all parallel. But I'm looking at these two windows, and there's a gap on the left, but not on the right. It's like they're literally they're actually coming up together crooked. I was thinking that's weird. It's just a tiny little gap, and you might not notice it if they were further apart. But the left side is actually overlapping the two windows, and on the right side, it's a gap. You could see the screen behind it, and I don't know that I've ever remember seeing that before. Digression. That's me. Call me Mr. Digress. All right. Let's see what we did. We're looking at the wrong team. The team with user ID is a league-generated team from the create league function, not your user's team. 2 different team collections. Default teams, template teams for name logo. Well, no, wait. Default teams are never to be assigned to a user. Only teams created by create league are assigned to a user. Teams 1 to 34 are always default teams. They are the source of information such as origin, team, and game, team names, mascots, abbreviations, and any other starting state team information. it is assigning a user to team 050, I would expect that team would have the sys user updated to the user ID. But game logs show that the team selected by the user to take over was team 050. That is the one I would expect to have been updated. Oops. Sounds like it didn't get plugged in. It's like, hey, you selected team 50. Okay, let's go do the team name. And it's like, I was hesitant to allow the game to not just pass the team name to the next thing. It did go to the team name selection. Just did not save yet. Is the process trying to instead do both steps at once? Would that be more efficient? Maybe we just store the selected team ID. Problem is that kind of makes the confirmation dialog what kind of makes the confirmation dialog what does it make it? A moot step, since it only will say if you confirm name selection dialog. One of these days, if I ever get enough people, I could ask this question. If you ever watch this in post, Okay, I have a question. You've got a team where you get to select your team captains, thus you select your team, and you select a team name. If you click confirm on select team name, do you feel like that should immediately be saved to the system, meaning you cannot go back and change your mind at any point? You're done. That's your team. Then you go to team name selection, and even if you quit the game before doing that, when you return, all it's going to do is take you back to team name selection because you've already got your team. Or do you think it would be better, or would you rather, some option that says instead of having a confirmation, you click the team you want and then you go pick your team name, then you confirm, are these your choices, you know, I don't know. I don't even know how to word it. How would I word that? Go back? Would you like to save your choices? And you can say, I don't know. Is it overthinking it? I mean, is it really necessary? I guess I'm having trouble trying to decide if we should process, and I don't know. I guess I'll have to get feedback when I start having my demo going. But right now, I think I'm trying to figure out what the most efficient approach to this is. I'm wondering, user can change their mind about team name without wasting their team selection. Con, first confirmation feels meaningless. B, remove confirmation from team selection entirely. Only show confirmation dialog when selecting team name. Both team assignment and name assignment happen in one transaction. Pro, cleaner UX, one decision point. Can't separate which team to control from what to name it. Since you're selecting a team and its identity at the same time anyway, having two confirmations is redundant. Here's what I suggest. Team name selection screen, click a team, no confirmation, just transition to team name selection. Team name selection screen, click a name, confirmation dialog saves both team ID and source team ID in one flow. This makes more sense. You're really making one decision. I want to be the Dallas Cowboys. The team selection, team 150, is just an implementation detail. User only needs to confirm once. You know, that does feel more solid. I do feel like that's the more natural progression. Having a save before you've actually selected your name does feel like an extra. I don't know the best way to word that confirmation box, but I can do that later. Yes, let's go with that. Which means we no longer have to do the check in the UI that looks to see if a user ID looks to see if the user ID is assigned to a team with no name, because that should never happen. If the user ID is assigned successfully, then That also probably removes an extra function too, because having two functions, one that updates the team name. Oh, I'm gonna have to. That also means the other teams can all have their. That should. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot simpler. So we're not going to call the confirmation on that first step. So we're going to select the team. It'll go straight to the team name. You pick your team name. Bam, you've got your team. I don't know what. I don't know how to go back though. How would you cancel out or go back? I think I might want to add an option to change team select or change team captain selection or something like that. So it would just take you back to the previous page. If we're gonna have that open, I want to be able to have it go back. I don't want to be like, okay, you went to this page and now you're like, oh no, I want those other guys, but how do I go back and get the other guys? There's no undo, short of like close the form and try to, yeah, because I don't want to have like a limbo state if I can avoid it. So you always end up here. And I don't want it to be a close the app and come back kind of thing. You should be able to do it without having to close the app. So I think I might have to consider that as my options. Great, now let's update the team selection manager, reflect this change. Team selection, remove the team without name check. Edit. Now we're updating. Test single confirmation flow end to end. All right, I gotta have another test here. Okay. Just confirming. Two things. One. We should now be able to combine both into a single API call. Assign user to team. But it should also update all the other teams in the league to a random default team ID so that we can, that was not selected by the user. So all the teams get their team name. Since we are not confirming the user's team selection, I want to add a link at the top of the team name selection that user can click. Maybe a button object. Change team captain selection. take them back to the previous screen to pick again. This way, if we don't have the confirmation, I don't want to feel like a confirmation, like you're stuck. You know, hey, we went to this page. Oh, shoot, no, I wanted to take those other guys. That was an accident or whatever. If you didn't confirm, I don't want it to be locked until they go through, until they come. So they're going to make some changes. It's going to tweak. It's going to combine my two calls, because right now I have two calls. One's user ID and one's team selection or whatever. And since I'm only doing them in one call, that's going to simplify it. But there's no reason for me to do it in two different calls. And then I also want to make it so the user can actually go back. And that means I'm probably going to have to go to the user UI. I'll probably put the button like up here at the top of my, what I'm thinking is I'll go to this announcements board and the team name selection. It's updating. And I'll add a new button item here. I'll probably just put it underneath the team name selection. There's no reason why it can't be in or child of, right? I think you can. So let's go in here. Team name selection. Oh, that's the panel. And then we have the team name list. Let's just stick it in here. And we'll add UI button. And change team selection button. And we'll go here and go here. Change team selection. And then change team text. And then we have to go here and we make it visible. Then we have to make this visible. And we'll take this button. Where is it? Oh, I'm not even on that. There we go. I am going to make this also a percent rect. This is a script I created that puts all my stuff on based on their position. So we're going to go top, put that right underneath there, and we'll take the bottom and bring it all the way up to there. And then we'll make it fully transparent because I don't want it to show anything but the text. And then we will change the text because that text is ugly. I don't want to make this text like blue, maybe some other odd color. Why is there, oh, wait, can I not do that? Maybe I can't make it. Okay, so that's weird. Why can't I do that? I'll make that clear, but not the text. That text is really tiny. I gotta fix that. Let's go. What if I go auto size? I want it to be smaller than that though, so let's change my button size. I think the best way to do that might be just to shrink the top, the bottom maybe. Bring it up a little bit further. And then maybe I'll put a little back symbol on here. Probably not the prettiest, but we'll do that. And we'll just go with a caret. It's not the prettiest. I'd rather have some kind of an arrow or something, but I'm sure it'll suffice for now. No, can't use that. That's just too cheap. That's too cheap looking. I gotta go with that. All right. But the question is why? Why is that clear? Vertex color. I'm trying to make, how come my vertex color is non-existent? Why is my vertex color non-existent? That doesn't make any sense. Why is my vertex color non-existent? So if I do this, I'll just make my text disappear. I was thinking something like a dark blue, and we'll make it bold. But that might not work. I don't know how well that's going to be visible. But if I change my this to be transparent, it's totally blotting out my text. Is it just because it's really crappy? It could just be that it's really crappy. I hate this font. This is like a really bad font. And it's just, ugh, I hate it. That's on my vertical mapping. It's got like a weird outline on it too. I don't even know how that works. Auto size. I gotta change this font. I gotta find better fonts. I gotta start working on finding fonts for this game because I hate the default fonts in this app. And they really have very few options. Liberation. What the heck is liberation? All right, so that's not gonna work. Is there even is there an outline option? Swatches. See, they all have this weird back outline thing. What is that? Excuse me. Well, that's bold. That's very yeah, that's weird. Okay, so a red color is not going to work at all. That's just not good. Just try to find something that doesn't look terrible. All right, we'll go with that. I don't know what that is, but okay, that doesn't look good. But it's readable. There's that, kinda. Let's see if I take the bold off of it. Is that better? Maybe. Not great, but we'll keep it for now. Okay, so let's see if, I'd imagine it did something to add a, or I have to add the button. All right, so manual steps needed. Regenerate the proto buff. Okay, let's go regenerate the proto buff. We got to go to common. Go to a new terminal. Oops, I don't know why. I just don't like using PowerShell. I don't know why. Common make gen. Bam. Okay, make gen is built. Now we got to rebuild. We got to restart leagues again. All right, leagues is restarted. I might have to restart. It doesn't say restart the. All right, imagine this changed the gateway columns as well. At the very least, I would imagine that it eliminated the deprecated call. I'm going to go ahead and stop gateway because I'm pretty sure if it didn't, it should. Oh, it didn't. It's like, oh yeah, I need to update that. Yeah, you need to update that. Let's keep it together there, buddy. This is the job of developers these days. It's like making sure AI does all the stuff it has to do, not just about doing what it can do. Go, well, wait, did it change gateway again? Our leagues? Oh, it did. I love that it says for backward compatibility. It just doesn't like deleting stuff. It's like, I don't have backward compatibility. I just created this app. I just removed the deprecated crap. That's just junk sitting in my app that I don't like. Huh. So it says now should use assign user to team, which handles both operations atomically. Is that atomically, or is that supposed to be automatically? Is Claude not know how to spell, or does it actually mean atomically? I don't know. It could be atomic. Is atomically a word? What is it? Let's see if Copilot's listening. Hey, Copilot. See, she don't listen when I want to talk to her. Hey, Copilot. Hey, Copilot. Hey, Copilot.
Hey, Kenneth. How can I assist you today?
Is atomically a word, and what does it mean?
Yes, atomically is a word. It refers to something related to or at the level of atoms. For instance, in science, you might talk about the atomic structure of a material or atomic energy, which relates to the energy released during nuclear reactions involving atoms.
Okay, because I found a comment in my code that says, new code should use assign user to team, which now handles both operations atomically. And that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, in programming, atomically means performing operations in a way that's indivisible, so they're completed fully or not at all. In your case, it seems like assign user to team ensures that both assigning a user and updating the team happen together without interference.
Okie doke. Thanks.
Got it. In programming, atomically means operations are done in a way that's indivisible. So assign user to team.
Wait a minute. She just repeated herself. What the heck? But, okay. Well, her initial definition didn't sound very useful, but once I told it the context, it's like, oh yeah, well, it also means that. Good to know. I learned something about atomically. Okay. I'm not afraid to admit when I don't know something. Because I'm just, I'm just a country boy. I just likes to go ahead and just go with the words that I've been taught by my mama and my papa. Okay, well, that's not true. But you know what I'm saying. That's like, I don't mind just taking on what I can get. All right, what do we got? Bobbity 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 boo. Gateway, front end, back end. So we got leagues, common, leagues. All right, so I do need to. I did restart leagues. I don't think did it do anything new. Gateway. Okay, so it only updated gateway, so I can go ahead and run this. Go run dot. All right, so that should do that. Now front end, build and deploy steps. Open Unity editor, open team selection panel, game object, add a button. Ha! Look, it actually has the text already. It's the same text I put in. No, I said change team selection. Yeah, that's fine. So I was close. It actually put the little arrow on the same way I did. So what do you know? But I do need to add that to this. And there it is, change team captains. Go here, drop you on there. And then we're going to go ahead and turn you off again. Turn you off again, because that's what they need to be. And let's go ahead, assuming everything's going to compile for me, which it looks like it might not. Oh, no, it did. Okay. Let's go see what new and exciting bugs and errors I've got. Where are we now? So it disabled my confirmation dialog. We deprecated the first confirmation. All right, so we're going to go with the same team selection. We'll go with these guys. And that's not my right window. Let's go with this one. We're going to go with these guys. And then we, of course, got to take the V-Born Scorned. Why wouldn't we take the V-Born Scorned? Which doesn't work. Boo! Boo! All right. Well, we are not quite there yet. Nope. Well, hey, let's check to see if it fixed my button at least. Let's try this thing out. Boop. Nope. Nope. Nothing works. Nope. Well, you did remove the first confirmation, but when we get to team name selection, the button that I plugged in to change selection and the click of the team name team name selected do not do anything. There is no console information, nothing. Team, single API called. There's no console information, nothing. Because, yep, nothing happening. Nothing. Let me check what's going on, man. Event listeners aren't plugged in. So it says. All right, well, it's almost 10:30. I'm really trying hard not to keep going to bed at 11:30 at night because it's really screwing me up in the day, especially when I have to go out and do the fun door dashing in the middle of the day. I am making good progress. I really, really, really hope that once this is plugged in and works, that's all I need is for this to plug in and work, and then bam, I'm at the UI point of things. I'm at the back to where I was 6 months ago before I even had league creation, and I just opened the game and it would let me navigate through my nav panels. So once it does that, it's supposed to close up the announcement board. Now, here's the thing too. I'm actually thinking I may not have the announcement board ever fully go away. I'm trying to decide what I want the announcement board to do is just be like a, what do you call it? A feature on the screen that you can click and it'll show you what, like your league schedule, you know, that kind of stuff. It'll show like the league schedule, games coming up, that kind of stuff. Show you that stuff. That's what I want the announcement board to be in the eventual. Not there yet because I have a league, but I don't have league schedules. I haven't gotten to that yet, but we'll get there. That's the next step. Start putting in some league running after the next step after I start getting a simulation running, or at least in the most basic format. Now run the app and check the console. You should see. Okay. We'll close this stuff. I'll make sure it all reloads and compiles again. Solution, open the team name and logo prefab in Unity, find the team name selected component, drag the button into the select name field, scenario 2, change team captain, but field scene. What, did it change this? Team name. Nope, it's there. Wow. It was assigned and selected as I said, but just for your confirmation, here is the inspector. Forward team name selection panel. How dare you tell me it was my fault, AI? It didn't tell me. It just said, oh, this wasn't done. Well, you're wrong, but... Team name logo, let's check if the select name button is assigned in the team name selected component. Oh, wait, what? Is that a thing? It should be. Did they break that? Team name? Blah, 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 blah. Here you go. Step 2 is already set. Please run the app. All right, let's go run the app. Let's go see what the game has for me. La, 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 la. Oh, so many junk messages. All right, so let's clear this out. And then we will click on my team again, same one. And then we're gonna, since we're getting to there, we're gonna go ahead and clear this because I don't need that either. Now let's just see what happens. Click, nothing. Click, nothing. Click, 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 click. Click, 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 click. Well, I have nothing for you when I click on the buttons because nothing is getting logged when I click either button. Yeah, it's blocking. Something is blocking the clicks from reaching the buttons. Well, they aren't disabled by any other reason other, well, if they're loaded, if it's visible, it's not disabled. Button's not interactable. The button might be disabled. Let me add a diagnostic check. Now, also check if there's an event system. Edit blah 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 blah. Add 11 coalescing. Well, it's 10:28. That's it for today, guys. I'm gonna call it. Man, I really hope I'm to the. Man, I expect I should be any minute now working on the simulation. Simulation is gonna take me a long time. I need to get that puppy up and running, but I need to get a team going. And then the next step is I got to assign the game plan and the playbook, only because I need a game plan and a playbook to be assigned. And then I may have to go create a playbook. Excuse me, a game plan and a playbook. Although I don't really need the playbook. Well, let's see. The playbook. Do I need to create a bunch of plays? Oh my gosh, I think I need to create some plays. Oh, God. I'm going to need to create plays and a game plan. I can't run a play. At the very least, I need kickoff to work. Maybe I'll just get kickoff to work and have it auto call kickoff. Because that's the first thing, right? That just means I got players on the field and they got to run to the line and they got to kick off the ball. And then kick off and kick return. The only two plays I really, really, really need, I guess. And I don't even think my play editor has been set up for doing special teams yet. Yay. I got a couple of things to work on there. I might be further away than I hoped. Unless I come up with some kind of... I know, I'm going to need plays. I can't have it read plays that don't exist. So I don't want to be trying to fudge that, because that's just going to... I'll spend more time trying to fudge the play system than I will just generating a new play from the play editor. So I'm going to have to do that. Perfect. Now run the app. All right. Well, let's go run the app. This will be the last test of the night right here. We're going to run this. We're going to see what it does. And then ectechgames.autosave. What the, oh, autosave. I'm going to go ahead and let this run. None of this do I need yet, because we're just going to dump all this, clear. Okay, so we'll go here. All right, layout, 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 game object. Interactable, true. Team name, but okay, so we got the team name button logo state. All right, we're going to go ahead and take this information. Oh, nope, click the wrong button. This information. we need? I need initialized, received, source ID, stored values. This is going to be way up here. Lisp, TRW, oh, games. This is starting to look a little different. Portrait Joey's, source team button, button state. Oh, maybe not. Complete for trailers, Winogi, Stone, Reapers, game object. Virginian, LAP. Yeah, I have 999 just from this page. That is ridiculous. Okay, Sky Cats, JLA, scroll through. Okay, here we go. Scroll. Team name, listener ads, file jocks. Computer. I don't know. No, wait a minute. We still have more? I thought it was. Tuna socks. Pinger. Grief. It's only 34. Team name logo. Team name logo. Good golly, Molly. These are just the picking of the team. Response, content header. Well, I cannot find anything related to the team button because there is over 900 errors or log messages created just by this page alone. But the below image is one of the team buttons. It states, and they are all the same. I also see this error for every team. Alright guys, I'm out of here.